कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। बैठो बैठो। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गोपी वल्लभ, राधा गोपी वल्लभ, राधा गोपी वल्लभ श्री राधे। जय राधा गोपी वल्लभ, राधा गोपी वल्लभ, राधा गोपी वल्लभ श्री राधे। प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pariprajaka Charashtohri Srimad His Divine Grace Shila Bhai Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Vibhishan Sthavakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Stodrak Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Sri Giri Govardhan Ki Braj Bhumi Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Purushottam Kshetra Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Navadvip Maya Pur Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Krishna Bhakti Pradayini Srimati Tulasi Maharani Ki Kalyug Pavan Harinam Sankirtan Ki Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabh Bhagavan Ki Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maya Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much, Vanamali Prabhu. You can introduce me in the end. Hare Krishna. So let me begin by congratulating all of you for having an excellent sound system. Was it installed new? Old? Okay. But whoever is managing has learned how to manage. So I'll speak from the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is speaking, how we have to overcome the three major challenges within our mind. People say, why do we need temples? India has 70,000 hospitals, but almost 2 million temples. You can't be running temples for so many years unless it has any valid reason. So temples do what the hospitals do. Hospitals treat the body, temples help in treating the mind. And so Krishna is explaining what are the diseases of the mind which one needs to get treated. Tribidham narakasyedam dvaram nasanamatmana kamam krodham tatha lobham tasmat etat trayam tyajet. The three anarthas which Krishna says are the gates to hell. Narakasyedam dvaram, the dwara or gate to hell is kamam, lust, krodham, anger, lobham, greed. One has to get freed from all of these three. Jabat ragadayastena tabat karagraham graham tavat mohongri nigado yavat krishna natejanaha. 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam describes. Brahmaji is saying, can take their child outside. Jabat ragadayastena. Spiritual life doesn't mean giving up everything. Spiritual life means connecting the spirit, the soul, to the super soul, Krishna. And therefore, many people have concern about becoming serious in spiritual life. Because they feel going to the temple on a regular basis means they will tell us to stay in the temple only. So therefore, Prabhupada asked, why are we having so many temples? It is not because we want everyone to stay in the temple. It is because we want you to get inspired by the temple and then learn the principles by which you can transform your home into a temple. And that's the idea where Brahmaji is saying, Javat ragadayastena. If one doesn't understand that Krishna is the center of my life, then all of our desires become thieves to steal away our consciousness. Yavat kara griham griham. If Krishna is not the center of our life, if you do not make spirituality the center, if you do not acknowledge that everything I possess in my home belongs to Him, to the Supreme Lord, your griham, house, will become a kara griham, which means in Sanskrit a prison. Kara griham doesn't mean a griham with a car. It means kara griham means a prison. Yavat mohongri nigado. And then the illusion develops that I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. Yavat Krishna na tejanaha. Therefore one has to closely connect one's consciousness with the Supreme. Boston is a hub for education. It's a hub for studying technology, management, the cutting edge. All of these educational courses are training you how to deal with problems. Problems can be solved. Difficulties can be dealt with. Problems can be solved. Difficulties can be adjusted and dealt with. Why do you need spiritual life? Because problem and difficulties are not everything. There is another category called crisis and calamity. When the son fails an exam, that is a problem. When the son or daughter doesn't get admission in masters, it may be a difficulty. Both can be solved and adjusted. But if the son or the daughter dies, that's called a crisis and a calamity. It cannot be solved. You can only deal with it by tolerance and patience. No power can help you deal with it. And therefore don't think everything in this world can be solved. And therefore, that body of knowledge which helps you deal with crisis and calamity, which all the body of knowledge and technology put together in this world cannot help you deal with, that is called spiritual knowledge. And the place where the technology of how to deal with spiritual knowledge is taught, that is the temple. It may not be as branded as the educational institutions, but those who go through crisis and calamity, they understand what we are talking about. And those who have read about crisis and calamity, if they are intelligent enough, will start preparing themselves for coping with that crisis and calamity right now. Somebody came and joined the temple. Young guy. His father was very upset. He came to me and he started arguing with me. Why my son has joined at such a young age? Is this the age for joining temple? When he is my age, he should join the temple. So I told the father, okay, let the son go, you join. He got bewildered. He looked at me and said, I will ask at home and come back. Next day he came and said, let my son stay. So one may think spiritual life is something for older age and all that. No. There is no age for crisis. There is no age for calamity. And therefore, Krishna is saying, Kamam, Krodham, Tatha, Lobham, Tasmat, Etat, Triyam, Tajit. So the first is Kama or lust. Arjuna is asking this question to Krishna. Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha anichannapi varshneya balad eva niyojita. My dear Krishna, why is it that many times we know something is not to be done, still we are unable to control our mind and senses? And it appears as if a force is pulling us, forcing us to do it. What is that force? Anichannapi. I don't want to do it, but I'm forced to do it. Balad eva niyojita. As if it's an unseen power. Krishna says, Kama esha krodha esha rajo guna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyainam iha vairinam. Krishna says, it is lust only, O Arjuna. And when that lust is not fulfilled, it transforms into anger. Maha Ashna, it is a major enemy. Mahapapma, it is the cause of all sin. Vidhenam iha vairinam. Therefore, you have to be careful of this enemy, my dear Arjuna. That is the power of lust, which unfulfilled becomes transformed into anger. Amanistarite tomar iha agaman parama dayalu tumi patita pavan. Lord Chaitanya, he meets Srila Ramananda Rai on the banks of Godavari near Kovur. And when Lord Chaitanya meets him, he says, my dear Lord, you have appeared simply to deliver me. You are Paramadayalu. You are supremely merciful. Patita Pavan. your deliverer of the fallen. Who is Patita? Vedanishta madhye ardhek veda mukhe mane Veda nishiddha papa kore dharma nahi gone. When you know something is not to be done, still you do it. That is the definition of patita. Veda nishiddha papa kore dharma nahi gane. I know this is my duty, but still I do not have the patience to perform that duty. The restless mind pushes me, forces me to abdicate my responsibilities and do something stupid. That is the nature of the restless mind. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya is glorified by Ramananda Rai, and he says, Mahanta swabhava ei tari te pamar nija karya nahi tabu jatara ghar. It is the glory of the great souls that they travel. Mahanta swabhava ei tari te pamar, in order to deliver the souls. To give people the determination to stick to their decisions. To make a decision is easy, but to stick to that decision is difficult. Because the restless mind can make a fool out of the most intelligent. That's this age we are living in. How the most intelligent are befooled every moment. They know it from within. They don't have the humility to accept. Because the ego is a deadly serpent. It keeps hissing and biting us and does not allow us to admit how I am being made a fool. And therefore, nijakari nahu tabi ya tara ghar. By the association only we get the strength to follow what we have decided. I remember when I joined the ashram, 1993, I was sent to the kitchen to serve. So I was serving in the kitchen, and almost a month later, one more brahmachari came, he joined, he was also sent. And you can all come in ahead a little bit. So when this brahmachari joined, he was also sent by the temple to serve in the kitchen. So I looked at him, and he looked very, well built, 6 foot tall, muscular. So I thought that it is good for me to engage this devotee in making chapatis, because you need a lot of strength to roll chapatis for 2-3 hours. So I engaged him in rolling chapatis. Okay. ठीक है, और हम लोग कहेंगे यहाँ से लेके आओ बेटा. So I thought, I was engaging him very well as per his propensity and all of that. But after a week he came up to me and started complaining. What is this? I am such a powerful preacher that when I give lecture in my village, everybody is impressed. I'm a gifted speaker, I'm a gifted preacher. I joined ISKCON to give lectures, to become a preacher, not to make chapati. So I looked at him and said, why are you telling me? I am also making chapati only. What's the point you and me discussing? He says, no. I just wanted to share my frustration with you. 1 week later, again he complained. Same point. I joined to become a preacher, not to make chapati. After 1 month, he brought his luggage and he told me, I'm leaving the temple. I said, hey, what happened? You guys didn't recognize my talent. I joined to become a preacher, not to make chapati. 10 years later, I met him at a program. He came running up to me and said, after I left the temple, I got married. After marriage, my wife got back pain every day at home. I am only making chapati. And then he said, maybe I should have stayed. So when you are impatient, then you start thinking, maybe I should do this, I should do this, I should do that. The mind becomes restless. And therefore, Krishna is saying, no. You have to steady the mind in the association of devotees. So Ajamil goes into the forest and he sees a man and a woman embracing each other, and his mind becomes totally captivated by that. And then he tries to control his mind. Stambhayan atmanatmanam yavat sattvam yathashrutam na shashaka samadhatum mano madana vepitum. And as his mind is bewildered and tormented by those desires, he tries to control his desires, control his mind. Yavat sattvam, to the extent he can remember the scriptures. Yathashrutam, based on whatever he can process. What Shastra says about this. Na shashaka samadhatum, but is unable to control. Mano madana vepitam, because his mind has been swept away by those desires, by lust. And therefore, in that bewildered state, he engages in all kinds of sense gratification. Although he's coming from a background where he's fully trained in Vedic literatures. Ayam hi shruti sampanna shila vratta gunalaya dhrita vrato mridurdanta satyavan mantravit shuchi. He has all the qualities of a trained Vedic Brahman scholar. Shruti sampanna, studied all the four Vedas. Shila vratta, fully cultured. Gunalaya, ocean of all good qualities. Dridavrato, his whole lifetime has been spent in determined vows being practiced. Mridu, very gentle. Dantaha, sense controlled. Satyavak, very, very truthful. Mantravit, expert in chanting mantras. Shuchihi, very pure in his habits. Practically, he has none of the qualities which we are used to seeing in Kali Yuga. That kind of purity he was having. But the nature of the material world is any moment one can become distracted and one can engage in all kinds of sense gratification. The devotees told Srila Prabhupada, there is a nightclub which starts operating at 9 o'clock at night and goes on till 4 o'clock in the morning. Srila Prabhupada, give us blessings so that we can go distribute books all night. Very good scope for preaching. Thousands of people come in the nightclub. Prabhupada said, you can go, but make sure you come back also. Because it is very easy to get distracted. So therefore, it is described that the power of lust is such that it makes a fool out of one. Cupid makes you stupid. Ravana had 10 heads, but no brain. Because in spite of having so many queens in Lanka to enjoy, he became obsessed with Sita. Again and again people were warning him, Ravana, just give up Sita. Everything else is fine. He could not. The first person to recommend that was Marich himself, whom Ravana approached and told him, become a golden deer and attract the attention of Ram, of Sita. And Marich said, Prasida Lankeshwara Rakshasendra Lankam Prayacha Bhavasadu Gacha. My dear Ravan, I have an advice for you, although you don't want. If you want to keep your 10 heads intact and your hands and legs intact, and you want to continue living, Lankam Prayacha Bhavasadu Gacha, you want to go back to Lanka with all your limbs in its place. Tvam Sveshu Dareshu Ramasva Nityam. You please enjoy with your own queens in Lanka. Rama Sabharyam Ramatam Vaneshu. Let Ram enjoy with his wife. Let him enjoy with his wife, you enjoy with your wife. Relax. Go back. You will live and I will live. Because Marich was more worried that if he tries to go and challenge Ram, he is going to get killed. So Ravana was not willing to listen. He kidnapped Sita and he brought Sita. And then Hanumanji came and attacked whole of Lanka and burned the whole of Lanka. So Ravana got bewildered. Hey, what is this? Monkey is destroying. So he goes around searching what is the extent of damage. And he goes and sees only one house is not burnt. Vibhishan's house. So Ravana becomes suspicious. The person who gave me idea not to kill Hanuman was Vibhishan. And he told me just burn his tail is sufficient. And now only his house is remaining. Looks like he's a double agent. And as he comes near Vibhishan's house, he hears chanting of mantras. Ram Nam. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. And he's saying, my enemy's name is being chanted. And Ravana enters Vibhishan's house and he sees all the walls. Ram, 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 Ram written. Rama, Rama. Or he becomes angry, looks at his brother and says, hey, you have become a devotee of my enemy or what? Vibhishan says, what do you think? This Rama is not that Rama. Rama says, no, that is not that Rama. Which other Rama? Vibhishan says, my dear brother, Ra means Ravana, Ma means Mandodari. So Rama is Ravana, Mandodari. Ravana, Mandodari. Ravana says, oh, all walls in Lanka should have Rama, Rama, Rama. So Vibhishan was so clever, he engaged Ravana in preaching Ram Nam. But Vibhishan represents piety. He was always pious. Ravana represents sin. Ravana representation of Papa. Vibhishan representation of Punya. What prevents Ram from entering Lanka so far? When Papa and Punya collaborate and shake hands, Ram can never enter. That's the problem with half-baked understanding of spirituality, which prevents Ram to enter into our lives in a serious way and make transformation, because we think, I know everything. Ram could not penetrate Lanka as long as Ravana, Papa, allowed Vibhishan Punya to flourish. And Vibhishan saw Ravana, personification of Papa and sin, engaging in sin. He turned his eye the other side. Let him sin as long as he is allowing me to perform my Punya. So when Papa and Punya coexist and collaborate, Sharanagati, Ram Bhakti cannot enter. You need to break that collaboration. That club has to be smashed between Papa and Punya. And that can only happen by the power of Guru Hanumanji. When Hanumanji came, then by his association, Vibhishan got the power to stand up and question Ravana. That is what we as individuals need to do. We need the strength to stand up and question the direction in which my life is going. The narratives which have been fed to me by society, by family, by relatives, by media. And we need to have the guts and the integrity to stand up and question. That's why Ravana's brother's name is Vibhishan, one who creates terror in the hearts of the sinful Ravana. But he doesn't have the voice to speak up till he gets the association of Hanuman. After Hanumanji entry into Lanka, then Vibhishan begins chanting Ram, 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 Ram. His piety was the background, was the foundation, but he got the strength after Hanumanji entered. Therefore that Sangha, Vaishnav Sangha, the association is very, very important. Without that association, that transformation is almost impossible. And therefore, it is described by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Horidas kolikale jaban apar go brahmana himsa kore mahadurachar. My dear Thakur Haridas, what will happen in this age of Kali? People are so sinful. Iha sabara konamate hoibe nistar tahar he tu na dekhiye e dukha apar. Are, what kind of things people will go through in this age of Kali? People are going through so much of suffering. E dukha apar. How will that dukkha, how will that distress be removed? So that is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's concern and worry for this, the souls in this age of Kali. And therefore, Mora karma mora hate goloe bandhiya kuvishaya vishta garthe diya che phelaiya. Rup and Sanatan tell, my dear Lord, who is responsible for our sinful condition? We ourselves. We are making such choices. Who can we blame? Mlecha jati mlecha sevi kori mlecha karma go brahmana drohe sange amara sangam. A person becomes degraded because of three reasons: one's birth, one's association, one's occupation. And then when we start becoming more and more degraded, it becomes difficult to come out. Jagai madhai hoite koti koti gun adhama patita prabhu ami duijan. We are more fallen than Jagai and Madhai. My dear Lord, give us your association. So the single most factor responsible for degradation is association. And the single most factor responsible for our elevation and transformation is also association. That association is all powerful. When I was in IIT, I was attending the ISKCON lecture. Then I heard the story of Jagai and Madhai for the first time. They were the biggest drunkards in the whole of Bengal. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them. When he delivered them, they became pure devotees. By seeing their transformation, whole Bengal became devotees. I was very inspired by hearing this example. And I got an idea that I will go and bring the biggest drunkard from my hostel to the program. If he becomes devotee, whole hostel will become devotee. I thought that's the most efficient way to preach. One transformation. Everybody gets transformed. And I had never tried bringing someone to Krishna conscious program. It was my first attempt. So I went to the hostel and went to one of my friends who was famous for drinking. And when I approached him, he was already drunk. And I told him, this Saturday you must come with me for a program. He said, what program? I said, Gita lecture. He looked at me and first question he asked, are you drunk? Whom are you inviting? Me? For a Gita lecture? He showed his liquor bottles. You don't know what I'm famous for? I said, everyone has a future. You can come. He said, I will come on one condition. I will bring the liquor bottle with me in the Gita lecture. Will ISKCON allow that? He thought I'll give him up. And said, oh no, don't come. But I was also like, it came on my ego that I've invited. So chodunga nahi. I have to take him. So he said, will they allow me to come with my liquor bottle? And I started thinking, should I call the temple and ask? I have this friend of mine who wants to come for program with a bottle. Will you allow? And then I thought, temple will tell me, you also don't come. We don't want this kind of crowd. So I took a risk. I said, okay, you come. Bring the bottle. So he brought the bottle with him. He had finished half already. He was very consistent in his sadhana. So as we were about to enter the program, I told him, you have brought the bottle all the way till here. Don't take it inside. Above the door, there is one window. You just keep it above the door. He looked at me and said, ISKCON wala pee to nahi jayega. I said, Arey, will ISKCON guys drink it? I said, they don't drink tea, coffee also, Baba. Don't offend them. He said, okay. He kept it. And I said, I also have condition. You won't open your mouth because the smell will come. Then the preacher will chastise me, whom you have brought. He said, I will keep quiet. So I entered with him, we sat, and the devotee who came to preach was very happy to see one new person. So he asked him, what is your name? I gave the answer. Then he said, which branch? I gave the answer. Which year? I gave the answer. And he was wondering, I am asking him question, why is he answering? And I told this preacher, my friend is very shy. He doesn't speak much. So at the end of in the middle of the lecture, he suddenly hit me. How long will he speak? I said, prasad is given at the end only. So you have to sit and hear. He got so restless, he got up, went out, finished the bottle, and came in. That's the power of habits. You can control machines, but you can't control your own habits. That is Kali Yuga. We are puppets in the hands of our habits. 6 million deaths every year due to alcohol addiction. 35 million people across the world with drug addictions. 18 billion cigarettes being smoked every single day. People have become puppets. That's the age of Kali. So then at the end of the lecture, this preacher asked, will you take mala? He said, yes. I said, are you going to chant? Why you are taking mala? I said, he has asked me. I am taking the mala. He took the mala, went to the hostel. He had mala in one hand, liquor bottle in another hand. And he said, I have joined ISKCON. Everybody started criticizing me. He said, what is this you are teaching? So it took me 1 week to take the mala from him. So it is not so easy to make transformation. It requires a lot of mercy and grace. So therefore Srila Jiva Goswami says, if you make 100 offenses to the holy name, you cannot chant the holy names attentively. If you make 1,000 offenses to the holy name, you cannot follow the regulatory principles. And if you make 10,000 offenses to the holy name, you will not be able to chant the holy names. So do not take the chanting of the holy names for granted. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically came so that by the power of the chanting we can feel transformed. Nirvikara Haridasa Gambhira Ashay Bolite Lagila Tare Hoya Sade. Thakur Haridas remained nirvikara. His mind did not get transformed by any kind of temptations. Krishna namabhishtam mana sada haridas aranye rodita huilas tribhava prakash. So Thakur Haridas's mind became completely absorbed. Krishna Nama. And therefore all that distraction was like cry in wilderness. And therefore the chanting of the holy name helps us reverse our tendencies of engaging in sense gratification due to lust. And therefore Thakur Haridas is a great example, perfected by chanting of the holy names. And therefore it is described about him that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him as the personality who will represent this. Right? And so it is said, Itheki Vismay. What is so surprising about this? Sadhu kripa nama vina premana janmay. Without sadhu kripa, without nama, prem cannot manifest. Maya dasi prema mage ithe ki vismay. Sadhu kripa nama bina premana janmay. Maya became dasi. And she started begging Thakur, give me prema, give me prema. Maya dasi prema mage ithe ki vismay. What is so surprising? Sadhu kripa nama bina premana janmay. Without the kripa of sadhu and without chanting of the holy names, prema cannot manifest. And hence, the Bhagavad Gita is focusing on overcoming kama. Then Krishna is saying, Dwaram nashanam atmana kamam krodham. Then you have to overcome krodha. Krodha is known as Kamanuja. Kamanuja means younger brother of lust. Wherever lust is, then the anger is right there. It is following along with that. And therefore, when Parikshit Maharaj is out there hunting, and then suddenly he sees this sage, Shamik Rishi, and he's sitting there quietly and not responding. Parikshit Maharaj becomes overwhelmed with anger. And he takes the dead snake and puts it around Shamik Rishi's neck in a moment of rage. That is not liked by Shamik Rishi's son Shringi. For that, Shringi becomes so upset, he curses Parikshit to be killed in 7 days and 7 nights by Takshak the snake. Parikshit became upset and angry because of one glass of water. That Shamik Rishi did not offer him basic hospitality of even water. If I tell you that you can get killed because of one glass of water, you will not believe it. How can one glass of water kill me? Parikshit was about to die because of that one glass of water. It is not the one glass of water which can keep you alive or kill you. It is Krishna's will. And Krishna can use even a glass of water as an instrument to kill us. It is His will which is supreme. Tosyaiva meghasya paravaresho vyasakta chittasya griheshu abhikshnam nirvedamulo dvijashapa rupo yatra prasakto bhayamashu dhatte. Parikshit is saying, my dear Lord, this curse is not a curse, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for me. Vyasakta chittasya griheshu abhikshnam, because only because of this curse I am forced to quit all of my attachments. Nirvedamulo dvijashaparupo. In the form of this curse, all of my attachments have been taken away. I am able to focus and fix my mind upon you. People in this world are afraid of the destruction of their body. I am more worried about distraction of my mind. And therefore, my dear Lord, the greatest mercy I am getting at this point is the association of Shukadeva Goswami. The calamity of my death is eclipsed by the prosperity of the quality of this association. Yasya samsmaranat pumsam sadyo shuddhyanti vaigraha kim punar darshana sparsha pada shaucha asanadibhi. My dear Lord, to get association and shelter of such divine personalities is so rare. What to speak of taking the dust of the lotus feet of all such great souls. And therefore I am very, very grateful that apime Bhagavan Prita Krishna Pandu Sutta Priya Paitra Satsevya Prityartam Yadagotra Syata Bandhava. Who would imagine that at this moment, when I am about to die, the person I need the most, Shukadeva Goswami, has been sent. I didn't ask for him. I didn't request for his presence. I am in a state of total calamity, and out of the blue, the best possible person who can help me, Shukadeva Goswami, has manifested. How is that? It is not because of my qualification. It is because Krishna loves my grandparents. Krishna's favorite is Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun. And when Krishna loves somebody, He takes care of not only those personalities whom He loves, but Krishna takes care of all the further generations of those who are connected to His devotee. It is only Krishna who can care beyond one generation. Apime Bhagavan Prita Krishna Pandu Sutta Priya. It is the Panduputras who were dear to Krishna. Paitra Sat Sevya Prityartham Yat Gotra Syat Bandhava. My only qualification is I am coming in that family. Krishna loved my forefathers, my grandparents. My qualification is I am the grandson. That's all. Otherwise, I have no qualification. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, the best service you can do to your family is by becoming Krishna's devotee. When you become devotee, Krishna takes care not only of you, but also of all your future generations. When I became Hare Krishna devotee, my family was not convinced and they were bewildered. And many people would ask them, where is your son? And they would say, he is in Mumbai. What is he doing? They will say, he is in Mumbai. But he must be doing something. No, he is in Mumbai. Then in 95, 96, I started giving lecture on television, Atma serial. It came on Hinduja, then Sony TV, and then Star Plus. So one of my cousins saw that. And then he called my home and said, "Hey, is this our guy?" Well, yeah, he's the same man. He has a different hairstyle. Well, yeah. Yeah, he's Hare Krishna now. Oh, it's great. We also want to hear a Gita lecture. Let's organize an event. So they invited me, and all my relatives were there in Chennai, and I took one devotee with me to give the lecture. And he said, pointing to me, "Now you have got a devotee in your family, 21 generations in your family, all will go to spiritual world, Vaikuntha, including all of you sitting here." My family was elated. They were blissful. They all started clapping. And after the program, one of my cousins came to me and said, "Continue chanting, huh? Please don't stop. If you have any problems, let me know." I didn't know that by your chanting, we will also benefit. So therefore, if you become a devotee, everybody gets the benefit. Paitra satsevya prityartham yat gotra syata bandhava. And therefore Maharaj Parikshit, who regrets becoming angry and putting a dead snake around Shamik Rishi, at last he experiences the good fortune of the association. Vayam dhanyatama loke guropi ksatra bandhava vayam pibama muhustatta punyam krishna kathamritam. He says we are the most fortunate. Who is fortunate? Who is more fortunate? Who is most fortunate? One who gets association of devotees is fortunate. One who gets to hear and chant in the association of devotees is more fortunate. So who is most fortunate? Who gets prasad after hearing and chanting? He says, no, one who gets to hear and chant repeatedly is the most fortunate. And so Parikshit is saying, I am getting to hear from Shukadeva Goswami repeatedly. So therefore I am most fortunate. And hence, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his interactions, he's always emphasizing that. Vrindavane kalpadrume suvarna sadan maharatna punaratna simhasan tatevasi ache sada brajendra nandan Shri Govinda Devanama Sakshat Madan. And therefore Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the Goswamis installed the beautiful deities of Radha Govinda Dev in Vrindavan. Sushila Sahishnu Shanta Badanya Gambhir Madhura Vachana Madhura Cheshta Mahadir. Shri Haridas Pandit, he had such good divine qualities, well behaved, tolerant, quiet, compassionate, sober, very, very gentle in his speech, gentle in his dealings. Madhura Vachana, Madhura Cheshta, Mahadhir. Sabar Sammana Karta Koren Sabar Hit Kautilya Matsarya Himsa Na Jane Tarachit. Always respectful to others. Koren Sabar Hit, always doing benefit to others. Free from fault finding, Kautilya. Free from envy, Matsarya. Kautilya, Matsarya, Himsa. Never wanting to drag others down. Vaishnavera gunagrahi no dekhai dosh, koi mane vakye kore Vaishnava Santosh. With body, mind and words, always trying to serve and support. Not seeing the faults in the Vaishnavas. Very, very important quality. Kuladhi Devata More Madan Mohan Jara Sevak Raghunath Rupa Sanatan. My family deity is Madan Mohan. And their sevak is Rup and Sanatan. And therefore, the krodha is a tendency to be violent. Kama, krodha. Unfulfilled lust, kama leads to krodha. And fulfilled lust leads to lobha. So therefore one has to be using the lobha in the service of the Lord. How? By developing lobha or greed for Krishna consciousness. For going further, deeper into Krishna. And therefore, when Bali Maharaj comes and offers to Vamana Dev, what do you want? Vaman Dev says, 3 steps of land. Bali Maharaj says, what? 3 steps of land? I can give you the whole creation. What is this? He says, no, if I am not satisfied with 3 steps, I cannot be satisfied with full creation also. 3 steps. Shukracharya understands this is Vishnu, he will take away everything. He tells Bali, hey, don't give 3 steps. Bali Maharaj says, I already promised, isn't it? Don't, you can go back on your promise. He says, no, but you have only told me when you make a promise, never go back. Now you are telling me go back? What is this? I reject you. So Bali Maharaj rejects Shukracharya. And then he takes shelter of Lord Vamandev. Pumsam shlagyatamam manye dandam arhattamarpitam yamna mata pita brata suhraschadishantihi. So he says, nobody has ever been punished like this, my dear Lord. Jai Shishi Radha Gopi Vallabh Bhagwan ki. Nobody has ever been punished like this. He says, these are the choices we have. If a materialist offers you a reward with one hand, and Krishna offers you a punishment with another hand, which one will you accept? A materialist's reward or Krishna's punishment? Think again. Krishna is hearing. So if Krishna is offering punishment with one hand and a materialist is offering reward with another hand, so Bali Maharaj is willing to accept the punishment. And he says, you are the supreme personality of punishment. And therefore Bali Maharaj represents that personality who is tested, because Krishna could see he is become greedy for all the opulence of the creation. And I need to purify him by taking away his greed. And therefore, Sudama's approach was different. He was totally poverty-stricken. He goes to Krishna, and then Krishna starts worshipping him, making him sit on his royal throne. And then all the members in the assembly of Dwarka are bewildered, and they start discussing with each other, who's this personality who has come? Ki manena kritam punyam avadutena bhikshuna shriya henena lokesmin garhitena adhamena cha. He appears poverty-stricken, he doesn't seem to have any wealth. Still Krishna is respecting him. Who's this? From where he has come? Sushrushaya paramaya pada sambhahanadibi Pujito deva devena vipradevena devavat. Krishna is serving Sudama as if he is demigod. Vipradevena devavat. Giving him the respect of a demigod. And then when Sudama goes home, he sees his house has become opulent. He has got so much of opulence, he is bewildered. So what was Bali Maharaj's story? From riches to rags. And Sudama's story? Rags to riches. Which one you prefer? So everybody will say. So the Acharyas explain why Krishna did this to Sudama. Why Krishna gave opulence to Sudama? It was not because Sudama wanted riches. Krishna detected one anartha in Sudama. What was that anartha? Sudama had the pride that I am the poorest. I am the number one poor. Nobody is higher than me in poverty. So ego can come in various ridiculous flavors. So Krishna thought, I have to make him humble. How to make him humble? Make him a millionaire. So now you may come to the Lord and say, my dear Lord, make me humble like Sudama. I really aspire to be humble like Sudama only. But Krishna will make you humble the way you need to be made humble. So therefore, lobha means greed. That greed can only be replaced with greed for spiritual consciousness. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the process by which we can overcome the lust, anger, and greed with Krishna Nam, Krishna Katha, and Krishna Prasad. Keha nache keha gaye Sri Krishna Gopal Premete bhasila lokas tribuddha abal. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the holy names in Alarnath and made everybody party to the chanting of the holy names. Kanchana sadrusha deha aruna basan pulaka ashrukampa sveda tahate bhushan. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, with his beautiful golden complexion, he attracted and enchanted everyone's heart with his beauty and his bliss. And everyone got enchanted. Seeing that Kirtan, Nityananda Prabhu predicts, Dekhi Nityananda Prabhu kohe bhakta gane, ei rupe nritya age, hobe grame grame. In every town and village, this Harinam Sankirtan will spread all over the world. So Lord Nityananda gave the prediction for the spread of the Krishna consciousness movement in Alarnath 500 years ago. And Srila Prabhupada, taking the order of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, comes in Jaladuta and lands in Boston. And from Boston, Srila Prabhupada is taken to Butler, Pennsylvania, and then from there he comes to New York and establishes ISKCON in 1966. With only the asset of the dream and the order and instruction of his Guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. The only asset we need is the asset of service attitude. Attitude is the biggest asset. All other assets follow the proper attitude which we have. Ami briddha jaratur likhite ka payakar mana kichu smarane na hoye न देखिए नयने न सुनिए श्रवणे तबु लिखी ए बड़ा विस्मय. Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I am 90 years old, I am still writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. How is it possible? My body has become completely overwhelmed with age, pain. Likhite, as I write, Kapaye Karmane, my hands are trembling. Manakichu smarane na hoy, I cannot remember anything. Na dekhiye na ine, I can't see with my eyes. Na shuniye shravane, I cannot hear with my ears. Tabu likhi, still I am writing. E bada vismay. This is a big astonishment. Because it is only by the grace of the Vaishnavas this is possible. Paya jara agya dhan, brajara Vaishnavagan, Tara madhye mukhya horidas, Chaitanya bilasa sindhu kallolera eka bindu taha kana kohe Krishnadas. The biggest dhan, the biggest wealth is agya dhan, the wealth of the instruction of the devotees. And because I have been instructed, write the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Based on that instruction I am writing. And therefore, I am only blessed by the instruction and the blessings of the devotees. Taha kana kohe Krishnadas. So we are grateful to His divine grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, for taking the instruction of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to his heart, and coming all the way here and establishing ISKCON. And as a result of that, today all over the world ISKCON is present in more than 1100 temples and having distributed 550 million Bhagavad Gitas all over the world in the last 55 years. And last week, one of the stalwart senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who established ISKCON in India in a very strong way, departed for the spiritual world. And today, all of us here in ISKCON Boston remember his contribution, remember his dedication. That stalwart general of Srila Prabhupada, who has built in the history of ISKCON the maximum number of temples, distributed maximum number of books, and distributed maximum number of plates of prasad. And all of us pray at his lotus feet to give us a drop of mercy so that we can also try to serve Srila Prabhupada in a similar spirit. So thank you all very much for coming this evening, and all glories to Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabh Bhagwan, and all glories to all of your wonderful devotional service. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, it is a great honor to have His Grace Gauranga Prabhu, as we know that it's very difficult to have this much audience on Saturdays. Generally, we have been having our Saturday night kirtans, but we couldn't have this much of attendance. So we are grateful to him for sparing his time and coming to Boston. He travels a lot, and despite of all these incidents which are happening, and he had to travel to many different countries, but somehow he made to Boston and giving us his very valuable time. That he's very revered and very not demanding in the sense, in ISKCON he's wantable everywhere. And we are so fortunate to have him here at ISKCON Boston, because Prabhuji, as we know, is very, very well learned in Vedic sciences. and he is also a teacher, an academician, a writer, okay, and also we know that he is a coach, a life coach, and he is also a corporate coach. He is an environmental steward, is a social reformer, and an inspirational speaker, given us so many talks at various places, including TEDx. He's a cultural reengineering, and being all these things, one more skill he has, and which among all his various skills is a masterpiece chef as well, and many other qualifications which he has. You know, the time will go on if I have to introduce him. So let's give a very warm and wholehearted welcome, and also express our gratitude to His Grace Gauranga Prabhu on behalf of ISKCON Boston. Haribo. Okay, so that's all the uproar and all the applaud was for you, Prabhu, as a request that please come back again as soon as possible. We would love to have you. So thank you once again, all the devotees, for joining us here at ISKCON Boston for this talk. So now we will have a food, prasadam will be served. I think, yes, it's almost the time now, we have to close the altar. So in next 5 minutes, after my announcements, they will start serving the prasadam. Please do not go without having the prasadam. So we have plenty of prasadam. So allow all the elders and the parents with the younger children to go first. And as you know that ISKCON Boston generally have public programs on Sundays and Wednesdays. We have open house programs. On Saturdays we have a kirtan night. So this kirtan night was clubbed with the Gauranga Prabhu's program, and as you all have seen that, what an amazing talk he gave that. So please listen. He also has so many, you can say, the social media. You can follow him on the social media. He has Instagram. He also has on Facebook. So please find him. You can find his handle and you can start following him. You will get so many this wisdom talks from him on the social media as well. So thank you, dear devotees, for joining here once again. To remind you, all of you, that we have the most important festival of this year, the Jagannath Rath Yatra. It will be on Saturday, June 22nd. So please do come and invite as many friends as you can and pass on the words. This last year we had almost 7,000 people, and this year also we are expecting that and more than that, because this year our budget of our festival is $53,000. So you can imagine the magnitude of the festival, what we are going to put up on that day. So please do come, and I'm pretty much sure you will really like the festival. So thank you once again. So once again, let's give a big round of applause to our host speaker today. Hare Krishna.